Hey, hi, hello there, and welcome back to Formula Amateur, where today we are talking all about why the FIA Awards are always so awkward and any suggestions on how the FIA could improve them so they are less awkward. So let's get into it, shall we? So let's start off with a little bit of background information, and I first want to also apologise if I sound a bit rushed. I just had to chase a cat around the house. So what are the FIA Awards? Well, they happen at the end of the Formula 1 season, but it's not just Formula 1 that's included. So there are all the rally disciplines. There's WEC, there's karting, various types of karting. There's also Formula 3, Formula 2, and occasionally they also sprinkle others in. There's also Formula E as well, and I may be missing some, but it's mainly dual and single-seater category, and it celebrates all sorts of achievements in terms of championships and significant moments throughout the year, and it's hosted by the FIA, as all of these motorsport categories are regulated by the FIA, and it culminates with awarding the constructor for Formula 1 and the driver's champion for the year, and it can get a little bit awkward. So now let's cover the 10 reasons that, in my personal opinion, make the award show awkward and what they should consider working on to alleviate that awkwardness. So my first reason is not a thing but a person, and this person specifically is the president of the FIA, who was recently reinstated into his role after being re-elected, and that's Mohammed bin Sulayem and his own ego. The FIA president is obsessed with being on stage and in all the photos, even when he's not asked to be in them. He also loves to overstay his welcome on the microphone. He loves to interject to make everything about himself. He loves the sound of his own voice, and this is like the number one ticket of me never getting invited to such an event, not that I ever would expect to be. He just loves to be the center of attention, ignoring the tight schedule that such ceremonies such as the FIA Awards has in terms of a tight schedule, and he wants to be the MC of the event, although the organization themselves hire specific presenters to do that exact job, but he still wants to do it anyway, and it just gets a bit annoying. You're just get on with everything that needs to be done, and he's just like, no, let's make it all about me, and let's also ruin the driver's champion's hair. Let's talk about let's just have everyone listen to my own voice and me talk utter nonsense because I like occupying time on the screen, shall we? So for that reason, I'd say try and teach him to minimize his presence, because it gets a bit excessive. Now, the second point that I have to make is the stage direction for the award. Winners and givers are unclear. Nobody seems to know when to step onto the stage, how long to stay on the stage, and how things look on the stage while things are happening on the stage. So for example, when Lando received his driver's trophy, they asked him to hold the trophy on one side with Mohammed bin Sulayem on the other side of the trophy, while they block out the face of Oscar Piastri behind, whilst on either side of Oscar are Andrea Stella and Zach Brown. It really doesn't bode well for how things should be, you know, the whole thing of like papaya rules, and then you just go and be like, yeah, the second person in my team, who? It doesn't, the whole stage direction was crazy, and it seems to be a repetition because nobody knows when to stand, when to get on the stage, and it just seems so chaotic. It needs a bit of fine tuning so that things like this don't repeat themselves. And onto the third point, which is along a similar vein, and that's that the microphones need more attention, because people cannot hear each other even when they are standing next to each other, and people can be overheard gossiping in the background when they are on stage, when people are trying to give a speech, or they're answering questions because they just received an award, or they're about to give an award, and they're talking about the sentimentality of it, and all you hear is just people gossiping in the background instead of having their microphones being cut off, and you hear the whole you cannot hear the conversation going on between the award winner, the award giver, or the presenters asking questions, how does it feel to be an award-winning driver and all this. It's just, as I said, chaos, because you want to, if it's televised, you want people to hear and see clearly what's going on. And if there's gossiping going on behind, whispers going on, how are you meant to focus on what is a centre stage when just at the little back of the centre stage is murmuring, and it's distraction, and it's not fair on the viewers to have to deal with that. So maybe learn to cut off the mic. I know I want to say this when I'm recording a podcast, but they need to focus on when to cut off the mic for certain people. Now, my fourth reason for FIA awkwardness in terms of awards, the camera direction needs some work as well. We criticised the camera direction for the world feed during a Formula 1 race, but this has nothing on the camera direction during the award ceremony. They can't figure out when to show the crowd, the stage, or the on-screen animations that are going on. They're always cutting off things, or they are showing something in where only half of the screen can be seen to where they're meant to be focusing on. It's a bit of a shambles. You want to know what they want to focus on, and instead they focus on everything all at once. And these on-screen animations, they have to cost a fortune. So to only show literally half the screen of the animations, it has to cost a lot to commission, and then it must be even more costly to basically skimp out on that by not showing the full animation or focusing on the person who's speaking when they should be getting at least a little bit of attention, regardless of which organization they're a part of, which sport they're a part of. Are they just beginning in FIA sports? Are they at the tippy top? Who knows? But give people a fair attention, and give hard work a fair attention. Don't just skimp out and just show God knows what. You might as well show someone's notebook there instead of showing the winner of a huge award that probably meant their entire career is held in this metal that they are holding that must be very heavy, and you're not focusing on that. You're focusing on you're focusing on a notebook, or you're focusing on half an animation, or you're just focusing on someone awkwardly standing there or sitting there. Just learn not to do that. That would be great. And this bothered me as well. Number 5 is the photo sessions. After each award, there's a photo session where the award winners step forward, but they always announce it really awkwardly, and then nobody expects that there will be a photo taken, and they seem surprised, and then they all move forward, but they don't know where to stand, and they don't know that it will be happening because it doesn't seem to be as consistent as it should be, and they don't know who should be in the picture and who shouldn't be in the picture. They seem to sort of grab people when they think it's right, and it's just, if people are giving some sort of instruction, some sort of direction, like this is how you get onto the stage, this is your cue to leave, this is who you're handing the award to, or this is who you're getting the award from. Make it more planned out so people know what to expect, so they don't seem to be walking around in circles because they don't realize that, oh, actually we need you for this photo, oh, never mind, actually we don't need you for the photo, go away and go sit back in your place where you belong. It's a shambles. It's an absolute shambles. Now, when you think of all these multiple disciplines that are supported by the FIA, and a lot of money is involved, and you think of all of the legendary theme tunes and intros that all of these sports might have when you're watching them live on TV, or when you're there in the moment when you're at a race, you think, oh my god, this music feels right, it gets your heart pumping, gets you excited. So then why is it that when they are introducing someone onto the stage, whether they are giving a prize or whether they are are receiving a prize, why does it seem so lackluster? The music is so quiet, and it's at a really weird part where like nothing really happens. Like you might as well just record someone flatlining and that be the music, because it doesn't get you excited that this figure is coming and they're going to give this amazing award, or this figure is coming and they are about to receive their most coveted award they could ever receive. It's a bit naff. It needs a bit more oomph, Speaking of the oomph, apart from the opening show where we see the glorious animation of a boy learning about all of these motorsports and what he could achieve, and what he could dream to be when he gets older and he becomes this whole motorsports legend, at least the 2025 FIA Awards animation for the introduction of the show, as well as the show where the hosting country performs, gets some performers to perform some sort of amazing performance, and I love the performance that the Uzbekistan dancers and musicians had. Apart from those two things, the whole show lacked an oomph. It was just get on the stage, get an award, say a few things, have a little giggle, mess up the photo, stay on the stage, or actually don't stay on the stage, go sit down, or go out the back, or go back the entrance that you came onto the stage, or sit back at your seat, and then let's move on, and then let's confuse people even more about other things. It wasn't as exciting. I feel like the 2024 award show was a lot more exciting. It was just rinse and repeat over and over and over again, and it had those elements last year, don't get me wrong, but yeah, it just felt like you want people to be excited about this award ceremony. You want people to watch it, make it exciting. Don't just, you might as well be serving me a till or a counter, because it's just, beep beep beep, done. Like I need some oomph. I need a reason. You need to give me a reason to watch this, because if you're just going to make this so cookie cutter dull, I might not watch next year. Obviously I'm just one person, so they're not going to care what I have to say. I'm not going to lead a whole the whole world to not watch this award ceremony. But if you want eyes on this, give it a bit more life. Have more performances. The performance by the people of Uzbekistan, the dancers and performers that were there, was amazing. It was vibrant. It was colourful. It had, it really felt powerful. It felt wonderful. And then after it finished, it was just meh. Where did it all go so quickly? And talking about oomph and camera direction, things like that. The first interview when the award show started, and this is no dig at the actual presenter or the interviewees that took part in that interview, but it felt weirdly edited. Like, it felt like as if they let me edit it for the first time, as editing has never been my forte, as you can tell from my episodes. But the video was just sort of cut at awkward moments, and it just felt like they might have, like, for an awards ceremony, you might want to have someone who is experienced and knows what they're doing. If you just let an intern do something for something so big as an award ceremony, then you just end up having random edits skipping out words out of nowhere, and you don't know what's being said. It just gets really jumpy, and it just felt a bit just all over the place. I don't know, there was just no rhyme or reason for it. And as I said, no shame to the interviewer or the interviewees. They didn't know that it was going to look like this, but oh my god, this would never even pass on like a degree level media program or anything. Like, what happened? It was so rough. Now, this is another thing about comparing 2025 to 2024. I feel like there were a lot more rewards to do with like where the audience gets to vote on a certain event, whereas this year it was sort of like what was the best moment on track for each of the sports categories, and then they didn't even give you the options of what could have been chosen. They just showed who won, and then they had the people who were in attendance to get on the stage, get an award, and then see you later. It was really strange. Like, I feel like last year was a bit more interactive. It felt a bit more like there was a bit more audience participation involved, and this year was just like, right, we need to do this quickly, get out of the way, bish bash bosh, and we're done, let's move on to the next bit. The whole ceremony just seemed a bit rushed in some cases, apart from when MBS was speaking. That felt never ending. But yeah, like, I feel like last year was a much more audience involved, even though the audience wasn't actually there. Whereas this year there was the audience in the audience, but there was no element of like, and here is what you voted for, and in these various different categories, you know, best overtake, best action, best whatever. It was just, oh yeah, this is what you voted for like 3 weeks ago. Well done, good luck, see ya. And now once again, no shade on the presenters, but I feel like the presenters of the main show seem to be out of sync with each other, and they struggle with having a little bit of chemistry. Like, I'm not saying start an affair, I'm saying at least make it like you want to be there and that you like each other in some sort of way. It felt like it felt so forced, it felt overly scripted. They seemed to lack natural flow and realism. It just felt like all they were doing was either reading from a prompter or reading from a tablet. It didn't feel authentic, it didn't feel natural, and I just wish that there was a bit more, you know, humanity added into that presenting duo. And this is not me shaming them. I just feel like there wasn't any, you know, it just felt like, you know, just follow the script and you'll be fine. But then it just seems so unnatural. Like, sometimes you have to go off script in order to make things more realistic, more lively, you know, because otherwise it just sounds so robotic. It just sounds so overly staged, and I just find it a bit annoying when, you know, you're just constantly looking at a tablet with, oh, how about you ask this question, how about you ask that question. It's like, well, why can't you just come up with it or memorize the questions that you need before you actually ask them? Because it just looks it looks a bit annoying. Some might say it might be unprofessional. I just think it's a bit annoying. Like, why must you rely on this? Why can't you just, you know, do a little bit of journalism and just ask the questions when they come to you in your head, rather than have to rely on, you know, it just felt so overly scripted. It felt robotic, you know? Thank you so much for listening to another episode of Formula Amateur. Thank you for listening to me rant. Now, I did say, please keep in mind, these are just mere suggestions. This is just my point of view. This is my honest opinion. You don't have to agree, but do let me know if I've missed anything out. But just to let you know, I would never include language barriers of any kind or any issues with, you know, understanding things from being, you know, bilingual or knowing multiple languages at once, or, you know, trying to speak a language that you don't use on the everyday. I don't feel like that will be a reasonable thing to say, like, oh, this makes it awkward. No, I think that adds actually extra dimension, because you're making things more inclusive, you're making things more accessible to other people. You want to include as many people as possible, and if you know that there are people there in the audience that are that might not speak English on the everyday, they might not speak it at all, but they want to see this, you know, I think it adds a bit more excitement and gives a bit more dimension to the show. So I like that aspect. I would never call that an issue of any kind. So I hope you enjoyed this. I don't want this to seem too critical. This is just me saying, well, this just felt a bit stiff. how about we liven it up a bit? How about we consider the audience a bit more, not to be like a college teacher telling you what to do, but if you want to introduce more people into the sport and into the FIA Awards, how about you consider just some things of what the audience is asking. I hope you have a lovely rest of your weekend. Please check out my lovely colleagues on the Be The Change Media Network. Don't forget to check out BeTheChangeMediaNetwork.com. FormulaAmateur.com is on its way, as I've been saying for a while now. I hope you have a lovely rest of your weekend. There are no race rundowns until March. At least for Formula 1. I might introduce Formula E race rundowns if that would be something that people are interested in. But have a lovely rest of your week, and I'll see you on Saturday. Goodbye.